We've reunited almost 60,000 pets with their owners through this program, and it's completely free. So the third bucket is the household pet profile. So now we've got no pet, we've got the emotional support animal pet. The household pet is the only time that we get paid, and we get paid from the applicant. And they pay us either $25 or $30, depending on how they choose to pay, either credit card or ACH. And they pay that to fill out their profile form. And that form or that profile, their online form, collects all kinds of information about behavior and statistical data about their pet. So it's going to be photo, it's going to be veterinary information, it's going to be vaccination information, rabies information, and then it's going to be behavior information. Do you walk your animal on a leash? Do you pick up after them after they do their due outside? Has your animal ever bitten anybody? Has there ever been any type of, legal challenge, anybody ever sued you for your dog biting somebody, that type of thing. So you have that information in there. We have an algorithm and it takes those questions. I think there's 22 of them, and it spits out what we call a FIDO score. It's not a FICO score, but a FIDO score. And you as an owner can take that FIDO score and use that as a risk assessment. So if the FIDO score comes out like really high, just like if, someone's credit rating is bad, you can charge them a higher deposit. If the FIDO score is out of whack, you can charge them a higher pet deposit. So it's the same type of thing. So the other benefit from that is because we have 8 million units nationwide, we're in one of every 7 rentals in the United States. We have a database that you as a pet screening client can access. So if I come to apply at your community, there's a good chance that I've lived in another pet screening community someplace else. And you can look up my little German Shepherd and see how she behaved someplace else, because pets are not a protected class. So you can see if Kyla chewed up the cabinets the last place I lived, or if
I
I
love
didn't
that.
clean up the poo.
I love that. One of the things that you got me to think about so I think we talked about this a little bit. We primarily deal with Section 8 in our local community as well as other nonprofits, and we typically will say no pets allowed. But we turn away a few people because we say that, and then just recently we had to accept some of these tenants with emotional support pets. So, given this great information and the software that's out there, I would feel more comfortable at saying we do accept pets, but you have to you have to go on this software and answer a few questions. And that would make me feel better about saying, yes, we do accept pets based on the FIDO score. So I love that. That is amazing. So I know when we met, we kind of talked about some of the things that the tenants were doing to trick people, like the property manager and owners, that they have an emotional support pet. So talk a little bit about some of those things that you've seen when people aren't telling the truth.
So, human nature, you always try and get something for free, right? Free stuff is good stuff. So there are a million websites out there where you can get an emotional support animal certificate that says that, your dog or cat or turtle or squirrel or alligator or elephant or whatever it is an emotional support animal. So fortunately, states and municipalities are starting to crack down on that. Like the state that I live in has actually made it a crime for a doctor to issue a certificate if they do not have a relationship with that patient and have witnessed a reason for that person to have an emotional support animal. So, there were people that were sitting back just, raking in the bucks like, yeah, I'll issue the certificate.
Yeah.
Our ESA department actually identified and turned over to HUD a group out of, I think it was California. I'm not positive on that, but it had issued over 12,000 fake certificates using a medical license of someone who had died.
Wow.
But they see them coming. They see them coming through. So, and because they make a phone call on every single one, they can spot a trend. So yeah, they turned them over to HUD, and these people went to jail. I mean, it's a big deal. I mean, and there's a difference between a service animal and an emotional support animal. Now, HUD just issued a ruling last week where those lines could be getting blurred. So our attorneys are working with them, trying to figure out exactly what that means. Because there's a service animal is for a disability, like performs a purpose for someone with a disability. Emotional support animal could be if you have anxiety, something like that. So uh the note that came out from HUD last week, it looks like those lines could be blurred a little bit. So we're waiting for a little clarification on that. We also issued a notice to our clients, I think it was 2 weeks ago. HUD is sending out testers for emotional support animals, like making sure that owners are handling this well and legally. When property managers and owners have people that aren't properly trained and are doing blanket, oh, we're just going to take everybody, or we're not going to take anybody, or it's easier just to do this. There's are testers out there, just like there are fair housing testers. Now there are ESA testers out there that could get them in trouble. So,
Good.
it's important that people are following the rules, and yeah.
I'll send you my addresses.
No, thank you. So there are two other things. I don't know if we're on time, but
Yeah,
there are
we're
two
good.
other things I love to promote that Pets does. Okay, good. But well, before I get out of that, so we have the three buckets. We also have what's called the assistance animal compliance guarantee. So anybody that uses pet screening is and follows our recommendation. We never approve or deny anybody, but if we make an ESA recommendation, um, and if at any time there is a fair housing claim made against them, we have a 100% guarantee we will cover legal and settlement costs. Our attorneys are there for them 100%. So there is absolutely no risk. This is a dangerous world we live in when it comes to things like that. And I can say in 9 years, we've never had to pay a dime doing that. But it's nice to know that there's a safety net. So if you're relying on somebody else's recommendation, it's nice to know that is there. So we like to make sure that people are aware of
Yeah.
that. But there are two charities that we operate, and I'm not sure if I mentioned these to you when
No,
we
you
were
didn't.
together. But and this is free to anybody. You don't have to be a pet screening client. You don't have to be in the multifamily industry. This is just anybody in America. Go on to FIDOalert.com or tabbyalert.com. So dog or cat. And this is an Amber Alert for animals. And you get a free tag for your animal. And it's engraved with your pet's name on one side, and on the other side is a QR code. And if your pet gets out, you can register your emergency contacts. So if your pet gets out, it will notify your emergency contacts that your pet's been loose. And if someone finds your animal, it'll scan it and it'll notify your emergency contacts, hey, I found Kyla.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody within a 5-mile radius. We've reunited almost 60,000 pets with their owners through this program, and it's completely free. It's something that our owner does just out of the kindness of his heart. He just, doesn't think anybody should ever lose their fur baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, anyway, so we love to just push that out. Anybody. So, FIDOalert.com or Tabby Alert.
So great. And Lori, tell us how we can find this software. And then the second thing, tell us how they can find you if they want to talk a little bit more about what you do or what we talked about here today.
Absolutely. So, the website is petscreening.com. Very easy. And when you go on there, I just have to do a push for the other charity. And so the other charity is called Down for Pets, and you'll find that on petscreening.com. So again, anybody in the nation that has Down syndrome, child or adult that wants to adopt a pet, the owner of the company will pay for the adoption fees and any of the spay, neutering, anything like that, any of the expenses for the first year for anybody that has pets. And if you follow us like on LinkedIn or on social, you'll see some really, really cool pictures of some families being created. It's,
Right.
yeah,
We
it's
need
very
more happy
heartwarming.
stories in the news and more happy stories on social media with all this bad news in the
Absolutely.
press
And
these
then to
days.
find me, absolutely. So that's why I wanted to make sure I get those out. It's very, very cool. And if you ever want to stop by our office, we're in Mooresville, North Carolina, and everybody brings their dogs to work. So it's a very happy place. So my email address is Lori, Lori, .trainer, Trainer, at petscreening.com. And we help anybody with 2 properties up to, we deal with Greystar and they have a million properties. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
can
Well,
help
Lori,
anyone.
thank you so much. Oh my gosh, my knowledge now of pet screening has definitely changed, even from our brief conversation that we had at the conference a few months ago. So I appreciate everything that you have shared with us today. And I think I'm going to be a customer because I think it's number one. I think it's just leaving revenue on the table. And that well, that's the first thing, right? It's leaving revenue on the table. And I think if done correctly, you're definitely reducing the risk that you have of somebody attacking one of your other tenants or destroying the property based on that FIDO score, as an example. So I love that. So I'm going to have to definitely,
Absolutely. You got it right there.
I got it right there. So thank you so much for your time today, and we'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thanks.
Jacqueline and Melvin, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to listen to this episode of Get Diversified. Please make sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on future episodes. Finally, stop by our website and follow us on social media. Ciao for now. Make it a great day, and we'll see you next time. And remember, get diversified.